The Long Stretch of US-163 by C.W. Boylan. US-163 felt longer at night. Not wider, not more dangerous, just longer. As if the road itself had decided there was no hurry to let them through. It ran straight and pale beneath the headlights, bordered by desert that looked flat until it wasn't, rising suddenly in the distant stone shapes that watched without moving. He had driven all day. The sun had ridden the windshield from one side to the other, draining color from the world, and from him along with it. By the time dusk settled in, his hands ached from the wheel, and his thoughts felt thin and overused. She rested a hand on his arm. "Pull over up here," she said. "I'll take over." There was a gravel turnout ahead. Nothing more than a scraped patch of earth where the desert met the road. He eased the car off the highway, tires crunching softly, and brought it to a stop. The engine ticked as it cooled. They switched seats beneath an open sky heavy with stars. The air smelled of dust and stone. "About time," she said lightly, as she adjusted the mirrors. "You've been driving like you don't trust anyone else." He laughed, loose with exhaustion, and buckled in on the passenger side. When they pulled back onto the road, the relief was immediate, his shoulders slackening as responsibility slipped away. They joked for a while, about the missed turn earlier, about the radio losing its signal somewhere outside of Chianta. Small things, familiar things. The laughter faded on its own. The headlights carved a narrow tunnel through the dark. White lines flicked past like a metronome. The hum of the tires settled into something steady and hypnotic. He told himself he'd closed his eyes just for a moment. When he woke, the car was stopped, the engine idling softly. Fluorescent lights buzzed overhead. The driver's door stood open. He blinked, forcing his mind and eyes to focus. For a second, his mind snagged on an image, trying to make sense of it. Then the obvious answer arrived. Gas. Of course, he hadn't been paying attention to the gauge. She must be around the other side of the car, card in hand, one of those places that closed at night but left the pumps running, trusting plastic and silence. He shifted in the seat and felt the faint tug of sleep again, and let his eyes fall shut. The door closed at some point. He didn't remember hearing it. The road was moving beneath them again when he awoke for the second time. Everything looked normal. The dashboard softly glowed against the interior of the car. The desert rolled by unseen beyond the reach of the headlights. He stretched in the seat and cleared his throat. "Sorry," he said. "Didn't mean to knock out like that." She didn't answer. He waited, counting the lines sliding past. "You want me to take over for a bit?" he asked. Nothing in response. He glanced over. Her hands were steady on the wheel, her posture relaxed, eyes forward. She looked exactly as she should. He leaned back, feeling foolish. He was overtired. That was all. Long day, long road. The mind played tricks when it didn't get enough rest. Minutes passed, maybe longer. Time felt loose out here. "Hey," he said lightly. "You mad at me or something?" She turned her head. The smile came easily. Wide, but not impossibly so. Just wide enough that something tightened behind his ribs. Her eyes lingered on him for a fraction too long before turning to the road. She said nothing. His heart thudded once, then again. He didn't press. If there was something wrong, she would tell him. Of course she would. Then calling attention to it would only make him feel foolish and make the whole car awkward. Maybe she was tired too. Maybe she just didn't feel like talking. Still, his thoughts began to circle. The silence thickened, becoming a presence of its own. The road felt emptier now, the desert pressing closer despite the darkness hiding it. He became acutely aware of how far they were from anything that resembled help. No towns, no traffic, just pavement and night. "You don't have to do it all," he said carefully. "I'm awake now." She smiled again, but didn't look at him. His mouth went dry for some reason. The panic came sharply and immediately, but he kept it buried. Whatever this was, showing fear didn't feel safe. If this was a joke, reacting would only make him look ridiculous. But if it wasn't, he stared straight ahead. The sensation of being watched crept over him slowly. Like a change in pressure. He felt it before he understood it. The weight of attention sliding sideways across him. He resisted the urge to look. He finally looked anyway. Her eyes were on him. The smile hadn't changed, but something behind it had gone flat. Unreadable. Not anger. Not amusement. Just present. The car began to slow. He felt it before he understood it. The subtle easing off, the way the engine's pitch dipped just slightly. He kept his eyes forward as the headlights swept across a narrow dirt road branching away from the highway. Barely more than a scar cut in the dark. She turned the wheel. The tires left the pavement with a muted crunch, and dust rose immediately. Striking the windshield in a dry rattle, it skittered across the glass, catching the light for an instant before sliding away into nothing. The sound pulled a memory from earlier that night. The wrong turn they had laughed about earlier before the sun went down. How he'd been so certain, how easily they corrected it. Just a wrong turn, he said. The road behind them vanished almost at once, swallowed by darkness, as if it had never existed. The headlights dipped and swayed, showing nothing but drifting dust and the suggestion of ground ahead. His thoughts went strangely still. He didn't know if the thing beside him was his wife. He only knew that it had never intended to take him back to US-163, and that whatever awaited them ahead would not take long to reach them.